For your chance to win a daily prize of £1,000, download the Raffler app today. There's a referral link in the description to the Google Play and App Store. Use that link and get an extra £100 bonus added to your daily prize. Also, over on g2a.com, use the promo code CHES to get a discount on your Xbox, PlayStation codes and games. Link in the description down below. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again and welcome to another Transfer Talk episode. There have been so many deals go through in the past 24/48 hours. I just had to try and make one of these videos and get it out for you guys because I want to know your opinions on some of these transfers because a couple of them I'm a little unsure of. We'll start with the three that were on the thumbnail, as you will be able to see on your screen right now. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you drop the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more in real life football stuff as well as obviously the abundance of FIFA stuff that comes on the channel. But let's start with the biggest deal of the episode, and that's Leroy Sane from Schalke to Manchester City. They've actually been spending a lot of money recently, Manchester City, and as you can tell from the picture on your screen, £37 million was the fee, around about 50 million euros. I am completely torn with this one because yes, Leroy Sane is a fantastic young talent, but is he really worth 50 million euros already? I'm not sure that he is. I'm really not sure that he is. Although, with the way that today's market is going, maybe you can say that he perhaps is worth 50 million. Obviously, City fans are probably pretty excited about Leroy Sane, but is it an unnecessary signing, or does this spell the end, a very early end, for Raheem Sterling at Manchester City? Because they've also gone out and signed Gabriel Jesus for £27 million from Palmeiras. Now, he is younger than Sane, I believe. I think Sane's 21 ? And Gabriel Jesus is 19, and 27 million pounds, sorry, is 10 million less than Sane. But I'll be honest, I know nothing about this Gabriel Jesus kid. He's obviously a player that gets brought up a number of times in Football Manager streams and in FIFA career modes, etc. But when it comes to his in-real-life ability, I personally don't know much or anything about him, to be completely honest. You guys might watch the Brazil League. I personally don't watch the Brazilian League, so I'm not sure. I mean, you have to put your faith, I guess, in Pep Guardiola. If he's willing to spend 50 million euros on Leroy Sane and 27 million pounds on Gabriel Jesus, then you'd like to think that they're of high enough quality to be able to force their way into the Manchester City starting lineup within the next 3 years, perhaps. Leroy Sane, I'm not sure whether he'll come straight into the first team, but he's definitely going to be in the first team picture. Gabriel Jesus is staying at Palmeiras until the end of the calendar year because Brazil's football calendar or football season runs throughout the calendar year, whereas obviously ours runs from August to May, etc. So he's staying there till the end of his current league season in Brazil and then making the move to Manchester City, although I'm not sure whether there's going to be any work permit issues. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section. I haven't looked into the details, but a few people have said on Twitter that he might struggle to get a work permit initially and may have to spend another year on loan at Brazil and maybe try and force his way into the national team picture. I'm not sure. I genuinely don't know, especially with well, I guess Brexit only covers really European players, doesn't it? But still, it's from South America and coming to Manchester City within the next 12 months, you would have thought. So, moving on from Manchester City, we'll cover next the one of the other two largest transfers that went through recently. The third and final one from the thumbnail is Antonio Candreva coming from Lazio to Inter Milan. Inter have made some great signings in the past season and a half, and Candreva is just building upon that. Inter are probably stronger than AC right now. They had a better season last year, and they're definitely going out of their way to try and improve again. It's a big fee for Antonio Candreva, who's not the youngest anymore, but I personally really highly rate him. I think he's a fantastic player. He scored 10 goals in 30 games last season for Lazio, which isn't the most, but he's also a very, very productive player as well, and throws the ball into the box with great accuracy, and obviously he's a fantastic passer of the football, was heavily involved and one of their better players in their Euro 2016 escapades, shall we say, in the summer just gone. So I personally think that Candreva is a great move for Inter. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section down below what you think of that deal. There are a number here. This isn't going to be like a normal transfer talk where we cover 3 transfers in depth. I'm just going to bounce from one to the next because there are so many to get through, and some that I probably won't even get the time to cover at all without the video being stupidly long. There was a few transfers in the Premier League. Idrissa Gueye went from Aston Villa to Everton for around about 7-ish 7-ish million pounds, 7.5 I think was the fee in the end. And I don't know whether this is going to be a good deal or not. He seemed to be one of Aston Villa's better players last year when they got relegated, and he was actually quite close to N'Golo Kante with regards tackles made, etc. And Everton were quite low in the table for interceptions made last year, so he definitely will strengthen their defensive midfield options. Obviously, they have advancing players like Ross Barkley and James McCarthy. Probably you'd say is more of an attacking-minded player than a holding mid, but and obviously they've lost Leon Osman over recent times with him. I'm not sure whether he retired or whether he was just released. I think he may have just been released, but Idrissa Gueye is a physical holding midfielder, and I think he will strengthen Everton with regards their defensive play. It's kind of, I don't know, it reminds me of, obviously Ronald Koeman is now at Everton. It reminds me of Victor Wanyama at Southampton. He'll probably play in a similar role, and Koeman will probably use him the same way that he used Victor Wanyama at Southampton. Obviously Wanyama now has since Koeman left moved on to Tottenham Hotspur, but I'm probably pretty confident that he's actually going to be a decent signing for Everton. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, as with all the transfers, let me know your thoughts down in the description. Down in the comment section down below. The champions have made a signing. Kapustka has moved to Leicester. The Polish winger. Is he a winger? He's kind of an attacking midfielder. I don't know whether he plays more on the left or whether he's more of a central attacking midfielder. But they've paid a decent whack for him, £7.5 million. Whilst obviously City have paid £27 million for a 19-year-old. Leicester not throwing that same level of cash around. But again, as with the case for Gabriel Jesus, I'm not too sure about Kapustka. I don't know anything about him. He's supposedly highly regarded, but I've not seen him play. And again, he's another player that pops up with regards to career modes, etc. In fact, we even looked into him in the most recent transfer window in the Newcastle series, but I decided not to go for him. We went with Kieran Clark instead. So I'm not sure about Kapustka. You guys will have to let me know. Will he be straight into the first team picture? Leicester fans, are you pleased with the signing, or does this signing of a new attacking midfielder make you slightly worried that Riyad Mahrez, or maybe even a lot worried that Riyad Mahrez might be leaving to go to Arsenal in the not too distant future? Let me know in the comment section down below. A couple of deals made by Newcastle as well, who've been absolutely they're buying everybody. They've bought Mo Diame from Hull. The rumoured figure was £4.5 million as a release clause, but it was actually quote-unquote undisclosed, but everybody reckons it's about 4.5 million as a release clause in his contract from Hull. I think Mo Diame is a really solid midfielder. I don't think he's going to be one of their best players once they reach the Premier League again, but he's definitely good enough to to have a big impact on their Championship season and should very much help them get back into the Barclays Premier League. Whether he'll be good enough to help them reach the the upper reaches of the upper mid or lower. I'll start that again, shall I? Whether he's good enough to reach the upper reaches of the bottom half, I'm not sure in the BPL next season. Well, providing, of course, that they get promoted, which I'm sure everybody presumes that they will do. Newcastle also brought in another player in the form of Kieran Clark for £5.1 million. Again, meeting his release clause fee, this time from Aston Villa. Personally, I don't rate Kieran Clark, and I'm questioning whether this is actually going to be a deal that's worthwhile for Newcastle, or whether they may have been better off spending that money elsewhere. They've obviously already brought in Grant Hanley, who is younger. Kieran Clark is definitely more experienced, but he's always been suspect for me in that Aston Villa defence with regards to their Barclays Premier League form the past 2 or 3 years. And Nathan Baker didn't cut the mustard for Villa, and they moved him on. And obviously Kieran Clark didn't cut the mustard last year, but Newcastle seem to think that he might be able to help them get out the Championship, which he may well be able to do. But again, similarly with Mo Diame, even less so than Mo Diame probably, I don't rate Kieran Clark. I don't think he's a Barclays Premier League level defender, and I'm not really too sure how long he'll be at the club with regards his future. If Newcastle fail to get up first season, then obviously he'll probably stay for a longer period of time, but I personally don't think he'll be there for long. I think they've brought him in because they think he's good enough to get them out of the Championship, but I genuinely think if in 12 months' time they find themselves promoted, they'll probably move him on again, which would be a bit of a shame for him, but I think, I mean, it's all personal opinion, isn't it? You guys might rate Kieran Clark, but 2 final deals that we'll cover here today. Another massive one, actually. Milik has gone from Ajax to Napoli for €32 million. big fee for a 22-year-old that had an indifferent time at the Euros. He's obviously been scoring a lot of goals and playing very, very well for Ajax in the Eredivisie, but whether he is a ready-set Higuain replacement, I'm not sure. Clearly, he's only a third of the price of Higuain, so perhaps you should give him a third more or 3 times as much time to settle into Serie A football. But for a fee of £32 million, you'd probably think that they'd be wanting instant performances from Milik, and I just don't know whether he's going to be able to jump straight from the Eredivisie and fly into a real vein of goal-scoring form in Serie A. You guys, again, will have to let me know. He is a good prospect, don't get me wrong, and he does have a very good goal-scoring finish, but whether he'll be able to unlock Serie A defences, which are notoriously hard to break down, as well as he was in, as well as defences in the Eredivisie, then you guys will have to let me know, because I'm really not sure. The final one we'll cover for today's episode is Max Kruse. He went from Borussia Mönchengladbach to Wolfsburg last year, and they've moved him on a year later for €6 million. It can rise to €9 million. He's gone to Werder Bremen, who aren't actually anywhere near as good as they used to be a few years ago. They're a struggling side right now, but Max Kruse is, as far as I'm concerned, a decent goal scorer. I was surprised Wolfsburg didn't play him as much, or he wasn't as successful at Wolfsburg as he perhaps could have been. So we'll have to wait and see if he does well over at Werder Bremen. There are a couple of other transfers that went through. Kuba Błaszczykowski has gone to Wolfsburg from Dortmund, and there was another one I wanted to mention. Jeremy Menez has gone to Bordeaux from AC Milan, so we'll have to wait and see how he does back in France. Presumably he'll do quite well, actually, although Bordeaux aren't necessarily the most competitive of sides. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of all of these various deals. I've just kind of rambled my way through this, and I apologise if it wasn't the most coherent of commentaries, but there was a lot of information to get across and a lot of opinion to get across in as relatively short amount of time as possible. So let me know your feedback in the comment section down below and on Twitter. There's a link in the description to my Twitter, so follow me over there. Not sure when you'll be seeing this. It may be Wednesday night, it may be Thursday morning, I'm not sure yet. You'll find out by the time you see this video. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more transfer talk videos and more in real life stuff. I'm going to Cambridge United versus Barnet at the weekend, planning on vlogging it as well as I make my return, or hopeful regular-ish return to live football this season. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. I most definitely am, and hopefully I'll be able to get into some Chelsea games as well this season. Time will tell. But for now, that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.